Welcome to Starcaster Radio. This is Jules, and I have Naomi and Barbara here with me, and we are just extending a big hug to all of you as we create our star community and step up onto the New Earth platform. And today we are going to start with the 7 elements activation. So we have already gone through the 7 elements, and today is just about continuing to absorb the wisdom in each element as we continue on our journey in creating heaven on earth. So just laying or sitting with your eyes closed, feel the vibration of the earth breathing below you. Hear the soft hum of the cosmos above. The mother and father hold you with love and are ready to merge as one to enter the gateway. The mother energy held in a crystal at the core of the earth suspends a rainbow of light up through the layers of the earth into the left side of your energy grid, filling you with a prism that holds the 7 elements. The Father of the cosmos suspends a rainbow of light down through the galaxy and stars that fill the right side of your energy grid, bringing the prism that holds the 7 elements. These rays of light download the elements into every cell and every molecule of your physical and energetic bodies, bringing them to the vibration of 999. Be still in this vibration that holds everything and nothing at the same time. You begin to feel the pulsing of Christ's heart inside the void. You begin to feel the pulsing. Without fear, you let go of the need to know where you are going. With blind faith, you enter the void that sits within your sacred heart. As you enter, you feel all density leave your reality. It is as if you are floating between 2 worlds. The hydrogen atom falls through the grid of all space and time and enters the void of the sacred heart. The heart starts to spin to the right. As the heart spins to the right, it becomes a portal. This portal opens and the hydrogen atom moves through, bypassing all of creation as it enters the pineal gland. The pineal gland begins to spin to the left, creating a black hole, the opening to the eye of God. I ask that the 2 sides of my energy grid merge as one prism of light and bring the sacred heart into the eye of God now. Thank you. It is done. The pyramid of the sacred heart rises into the 3rd eye. The rays of light enter through the eye of God, bonding all energies, allowing the mother and the father to merge in union, creating a marriage of mind and the heart. This marriage holds the vibration that will take you through the void so you may travel through the gateway. The marriage of these energies allows infinity to break as it is absorbed into the vibration of 999 and bringing your vibration to 1111. Rest in the vibration of Christ that Christ has left for you. As the new sun moves into the old sun, the hydrogen atom of Saturn is shattering showering you with a perfect alignment of energies. I ask to enter the gateway, the 11. My vibration merges with the frequency of the divine so that I may be divine. Thank you. I love you. It is done. All right. I love that activation. So perfect beautiful. For where we are.
Yeah, it really is. Everything is, what's been so amazing is everything we have done has been in complete alignment with what comes out and what we in the area we move to. It's been really amazing.
So would either one of you have some experiences or anything you want to share about how things are going since we've absorbed the 7th element?
I've been just having a lot of clarity at just my house and the whole dynamic with my family, working together and spending time together has just, I've had so much gratitude, like, just for the family dynamic working well together.
That's great. And how about you, Barbara?
Well, I can't think of anything in particular that has happened at this moment. My mind's sort of blank, but I think that everything is beginning to flow a little bit better as far as changes in the family dynamic and things like things with my son, how things are moving that way. He seems to be recognizing different truths that he hasn't acknowledged in the past. So it has been a positive thing in all of our lives to see him step towards the light. And I think that a lot has had to do with just me trying to release any type of control over him. And as a mother, that's difficult to do. But, the truth of the matter is that we're all individual souls that are joined as one with the God source. And so in that thinking, the truth is that we do not control anyone. And if we try to, then things don't work out so well. And there's a lot of blockage and stuff that comes up. And I think that is all of our learning having to do with family units, why we have chosen a family unit, and why we choose the same members of the family unit over and over again from lifetime to lifetime. So it has opened up a lot of different, I don't know exactly the word I want to use for it, but opened up a lot of different memories and things that we do over and over. They're not mistakes, but they're learned programs, patterns, I guess you would say, from one lifetime to the other that has built up, and I think it's time for us to release all of that and get back to the truth of how we all are connected and what is a balanced way for all of us to interact with each other. And in doing so, I think that it's going to move us more towards the life that we all want to live. And it will also help all of the ones around us to change by us changing, the individual person changing. Then it helps all the rest of them that are connected to us and that even come in contact with us to recognize things that they had not thought of before and make changes to the positive.
Oh, I can feel that, Barbara.
Yeah, I think that's been my big lesson. How about you, Julie? Do you have anything that you want to share?
Yeah, so I I think for me, you know, my girls are in their teens now, and we all just we coexist together so nicely. I mean, there's always little things that come up, but it's more about this last week or so for me has been about just identifying like the lower, maybe the lower ego, and I'm still kind of processing the feelings that have been coming up, but for me it's been a lot around I don't like, I want to say death, but it's more separation of separating from those I love or losing those I love. But even more than that, it's the suffering that comes with that thought process, and almost like the chemical reaction in the body of holding on to this place of like almost needing to be in fight or flight. And, you know, I had this really interesting experience out. We took the kids out to the lake, and we've gone out there twice. And the first time I came home and, you know, just had identifying this like really weird energy that I was feeling, and I just kind of wrote it off as being the people we were with. We were kind of with a big group of people. And then the next time we went out, it was just a few of us, and I still had the same feeling, and it was even stronger. And I finally identified it as, you know, I want to say it's the energy of losing someone or of death. And so it just brought up all of that kind of that fight or flight of really, I guess, the programming of, you know, that death is the end. And, you know, and I, through experience of losing many people that I love, I'm very clear of the fact that, you know, our relationship continues past the physical body, but it's definitely like a social consciousness program of the traumatic feelings that comes with that loss. So those are kind of the feelings that I've been working through, and not completely clear on even what it all is, but I know it's connected to the seventh element of I do not exist, and that I exist as everything and nothing at the same time, and how that's connected to separation through losing someone from the physical body.
Yeah, and I walked through that same path with you as well, Julie, when I lost my son, Rob. And it was, even though you know this on some level, that they move on and that they're still there, but they're not physically with you. And it's a really difficult thing to disconnect that type of programming while you're walking in the third dimension. So I think that is a good thing for us to work on. Maybe, you know, doing something that would help release that type of programming, because it is definitely a very strong program. And, I mean, it's all part of this game that we're playing. And it's almost like some part of you says, well, I know that on a higher level that they're all there, we're all there. We exist beyond this level. I know that. But then there's some other part of you that says, yeah, but while I'm here, I don't want to lose my loved ones, you know, because of the connection that you have in the physical. So I think that's a really difficult program to get past. So maybe we can come up with something that would help move us past that obstacle.
You know, it's funny because I was driving home yesterday, and the song "I Will Wait" from Mumford and Sons came on, and that was a song that Rob used to sing all the time, especially when I actually have a recording of him singing it when he was in the hospital. And there's this one phrase that he says that it's something about like just I can't remember the exact words, and I was hoping I could look it up, but I don't have it here in front of me. But it was something about how the brain, or like the old thoughts of the brain, are shattered and new ones come in. And I know that's not the words that are in the song, but that's what I think of every time I hear it. And I feel like that is so much what this is all about. And, and it always talks about, like there's one part of the song that says, it's these days of dust, which we've known will blow away with this new sun. And I feel like that's what we're talking about, where, as the new sun of higher consciousness comes in, is that we just start to experience these really dense programs of duality, because really that's what it is. It's the separation. And, and you could even go to, I can't remember which element it is, but that our reality is an illusion, and it truly is. That separation is an illusion. But here we are still holding on to these dense molecules where it's really hard to vibrate in that reality. So I don't know, maybe we can ask to just be assisted in resonating in the vibration beyond duality, where we can have the knowing and understanding even in this third dimensional body.
Yeah.
I love that. What about if we did a ceremony and incorporated the 7 elements in the ceremony to do a complete surrender of the fear?
Yeah,
I would love to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, would you guys like to start today as day 1 of the 7 days?
Yes.
Yes, that's fine with me. The sooner the better.
Right? Yeah, let's go move some of this energy out.
Really? I'm ready. I'm past ready.
Okay, well, let's brainstorm a little bit. I know with these elements, this is how I was feeling. I was actually seeing myself on a split screen, and I would see part of myself who was so happy. It was a different part of myself was actually kneeling under a tree, and the elements, the 7 elements, were just flowing through my heart. And I was so grateful and so happy. I was actually like crying tears of just being so, I don't know, so this beautiful energy coming through. And I would love to do something with these elements. I feel like the fear we're talking about, or the fear of separation, I feel like it's almost a dam in our heart, and it's not allowing these 7 elements to fully flow through. So if we could remove this dam, remove the fear, and allow these 7 elements just to flow through our heart, and our heart be this prism, there's nothing stopping us. Like, we are living on the new earth.
We are, and so I love the idea of just, for 7 days, really asking to bring in those higher frequencies where we're aware of it, and then just releasing with ease and joy the ones that, that we're here to release. We're here to reprogram and create a new energy grid for others to resonate in, of really moving beyond that illusion and that duality. And this is just another part of it. It feels so real when you're in the feelings of it and like moving through the programming of it. But I feel like that's so important to remember what that was like as we're releasing it, so that we're very clear and super conscious of what it is that we're choosing to reprogram or to rewire to higher levels of consciousness.
So how do you guys like the sentence, I surrender all fear?
I love that. Yes, simple but straightforward.
Yeah, I love that too because it's everything.
Right.
I surrender all fear that's inside my heart that I consciously am aware of or unconsciously am aware of. And if it's something important that I should have an understanding of, show me. And if not, just release it. And we can actually do this while we're sleeping, like just say a prayer at night. I surrender all fear, and I call in the violet light to flow through my heart throughout all my multidimensional selves.
Yes, I love
that.
Mm-hmm.
So then on day 2, tomorrow, we won't be, meeting, but we can just do it on our own. So tomorrow on day 2, I surrender all my fears, consciously and subconsciously, and I call in the indigo light to flow through my sacred heart throughout all my multidimensional selves, and we do it for 7 nights.
Right.
That's so
good.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
the more of us that do it, Go ahead, Barbara.
I was just going to say we'll have to then report back and discuss how that worked out in any of the observations that we might be able to remember and bring forward. I think I'm going to try to write mine down so that I don't forget, because I have a tendency to, once it passes through my physical brain, I kind of dismiss it because I don't need it anymore. So I think I'm going to try to write it down, and so we can discuss it at our next meeting. And I would also invite anyone who does this exercise to maybe write a little comment or something, so that we can share with the rest of the people or who are listening to the Starcaster podcast, and it would help everybody to kind of share in their own experiences and help us as a whole to move forward to the new earth.
I love that, Barbara, and I love the part about writing, because this is how it all started. This is kind of like our history of how we started. We would do this little automatic writing, and then we'd share it with each other, and then we'd do ceremony around it, and it's kind of what formed our relationship together. And automatic writing is so powerful. And if someone hasn't done it yet, oh my gosh, I encourage you to, because it is so liberating.
Yes, and that is exactly how I started out with on my road, in the spiritual road, to try to express what I'm receiving through my heart and write it down on a piece of paper and with no judgment, just write down the words. And it really does help you to tap into your higher soul self and to bring forward in the things that the higher self wants you to know and to remember, where a lot of times in dreams they will be fleeting, and I do believe we contact our higher soul self while we're dreaming and while we're in that sleep state. But by doing the writing, it seemed to me anyhow, that it brought it forward into this reality through using the physical art of writing that we have been given in order to communicate and to remember, and to also, I know when I write stuff down, I remember it better than if I don't write it down. So to me, it was a way of taking a concrete action and putting it down so that my soul and my brain could make sense of it. And that's my experience with actually writing stuff down.
I love that. I wanted to just read this, there's 2 little paragraphs. Well, it's a little longer than that, but I just want to read this one little place because I just feel like it's everything that we're talking about. So this is from the Council of Light. Ask for your energetic body to merge, expand with the grid of your higher self in the multi-dimensions. The energy coming in during the ascension process is connected to the frequencies that hold energetic portals that allow downloads to enter the 3rd dimension and reprogram the codons of your DNA. This is creating an energy charge that brings your physical body into your light body. This is how we will ascend. The Earth's energy grid creates a vortex that expands over the entire world. The grid of your physical body and the Earth body will merge, creating the new Earth. The event of transcendence is reprogramming the energetic genetic coding of all humanity, but also the 3rd dimensional reality. We are leaving the reality of how the brain perceives the world around us, but also the way we emotionally process the information we are experiencing. The brain will develop new synapse responses and neurotransmitters that will be responding from the heart first instead the lower part of the brain, or fight or flight. The reason for this is to minimize the fear response, which allows you to respond with higher perception or more multidimensional way of seeing a reality. I just feel like that was so perfect about what we were talking about and what we're asking for.
Yep, exactly. Was that in your book?
Yeah.
It is in your book, Julie?
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
That's what.
Well,
exactly.
Would you guys like to add any of that to the ceremony? Is there any part of that that we should add?
I don't know. I love just how simple it is because I feel I don't always think more is better. So I think just having it really general and just working with the light rays is going to do everything.
Yeah, I think when you get it a little bit too complicated that you feel like that maybe you can't remember everything or you can't get it all together. And so simple, I think, is better when you're doing something, repeating something. But I love the fact that you read that and how that connects to exactly what we're trying to do. I think that's perfect. What page is that on, Julie? Do you remember?
Oh, gosh, I just said it. I don't know. I just, of course, like I always do, just opened. It is
well, don't worry about
page 118, 118, 11:8. So the Gateway of Infinity.
I'm going to write that down because I want to go back and reread it again. Okay, I got it, 118. All righty. Yeah, because I think that it's important. It's important that we connect to this type of energy, and by connecting to it, then it's going to bring us out of this programming that we all are seeming to have the same thing that we're holding on to. And I think, by and large, a lot of people are out there, and even the very spiritual people who have been studying this and understanding and moving forward towards the light, we're still having trouble with this hardcore basic program that we were originally given. And I think it's going to be a big obstacle as far as us getting past it if we don't focus on it and identify it. Because not identifying it just becomes status quo, you know what I mean? So I think it's something that's very important to light.
Yes, and I think that's just how, until now, identifying the program and like you said, just putting our attention on it as recognizing that it's not the truth is the first step to reprogramming it. and then it's just identifying it every time it comes up. And, in so much of my life, I feel like I live beyond that. And then it always, and so bringing in the seventh element is bringing up those, those lower thought programs or energy programs that are probably really deep-seated into my DNA that are here to just clear a little bit more. And, and it's not easy to clear. It's because it's so emotionally charged in our energy system. And so it's using our consciousness to just identify it and, like you said, put our attention and focus on moving beyond it and rewiring to a higher level.
Absolutely. Yes.
So how about in our ceremony to go one step further, and I surrender all the fear I have, inside of my heart, in my DNA, or say something about our DNA, because we share DNA with other people, and we're just clearing it for humanity through our personal DNA.
I love that. I think that's a great idea.
Yes, good idea.
Whew.
And another thing, I think maybe in some meetings prior to this, after this, I don't know, I'm having a hard time talking now, but maybe we could address how we're all connected and how important it is to really understand that connection, because understanding that connection also, we feel like, I think most our programming is anyhow, that we're separate, even though we know on another level we're not separate, and they were all part of God. But when you look at somebody and they're totally saying or doing something so far away from your belief system, you tend to see them as separate for sure, because you do not want to identify your self with somebody who's, let's say, in your perception is evil, doing something really evil. So we've been programmed to not accept that, not honor that person has chosen to do something like that. So I know myself, I catch myself doing it, and even though I know I shouldn't be doing that, I still do it, and I still buy into that. So maybe on another podcast we can address that aspect of our programming.
Well, how about
that's a great idea.
What if people write in and say what they would like to clear, and that's what we do. People make an intention, and we do it together, because, the Bible verse, when two or more gather in my name, I am with them. So if, like Barbara, you're struggling with this, I know I struggle with it, and we do it together, and we put it out there, and we clear it as a unit.
Yes. I think that's the whole purpose of this podcast, is to get input from those who find it helpful, and, that expands the whole conversation and also brings to light what other people are struggling with, and, maybe we can have a conversation about that.
I love it.
I love it too, but since you brought it up, let's just go ahead and make an intention about it. Can you put that into a sentence, something that we can just go ahead and clear? I feel like if we don't address it, it's the energy's kind of just there, so let's just go ahead and ask to clear it.
Are you asking me, Naomi?
Yes.
I'm not good about that kind of stuff, but let me think for a minute. Well, I think I would just like to clear the program, the old program that says that we are different and that we're not one.
Okay, so the program of separation.
Right. There you go.
So let's just go ahead and stand on the New Earth platform, put your hands at your heart, and surrender the program of separation and allow the violet light to freely flow through our heart and all of our multidimensional selves.
I could feel my heart opening more as you were saying that. Like I could really connect to, and I kind of had this vision as you were, both of you were talking of, as we continue to raise in frequency, even when things like what we would judge or consider bad, we move into a frequency where that judgment isn't even it's almost impossible to even go there, and the perception just shifts to where the thought of that doesn't even come in, or the thought of judgment, or the thought of that it's bad or good doesn't even come in, because we're resonating in such a stable frequency of oneness that it's just an expansion of it's I guess what I'm trying to say is that we experience it from a higher frequency, and so even things that used to feel dense or at a lower frequency we don't recognize anymore, because our frequency is so stabilized that when those lower frequencies come in, we notice them, but we don't attach to the frequency itself, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense, and I love, love, love the words stabilizing frequency. And as you were talking, Julie, that's just kind of like I felt. As we're reprogramming our DNA, we're stabilizing our frequency. Like that's how we are upgrading.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. It's funny that, we're talking about this because many times let's just say I'm sitting here, I'm watching TV, and I'm seeing something, let's say on the news, and it's really negative. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, maybe I shouldn't be watching this because it makes me feel, angry or some emotion. But then I have this other voice that says, no, this is bringing forward your judgment by watching this. You are identifying your judgment on what is in the news, let's say. And this conversation is bringing that thought pattern forward. So I think that, I rethought why I, let's say, watch the news. And until I can watch the news and not have judgment on what's happening, then watching the news has purpose, because it is bringing forward a judgment or a separation that I'm feeling.
That you can clear.
Sense? Correct. That it brings it forward so I can identify it and clear it. Right.
I love it.
It gives watching the news a whole new perspective.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, because I remember Rob saying, Mom, you shouldn't watch the news. It's negative. and I remember having a little argument with him, and I said, well, I don't think that is the right thing, but anyhow, I'm watching it for some reason, so, I'm going to watch the news until I decide I don't want to watch the news anymore. Anyhow, so, it's all depending on, I think everything we do has a learning process, and we wouldn't be doing it otherwise. We wouldn't feel the need to do it if there wasn't something there that we're supposed to learn from it. So I try to look at, no matter what I do or what I see in my life, if I'm drawn to see it or do it, It has a purpose. I just have to identify what that purpose is. And so it's not a negative thing. It's a good thing.
I love that.
I love it too.
So, life is here to teach us. We're here because we're learning. And we're here because, and everything we do, we're learning from it. And so it's positive. It's a good thing. It doesn't matter what it is.
Well, I'm ready to go and learn more about these elements and just really play with the energy each day. And I'm seeing our hearts actually meeting, like being able to extend. And so I'm seeing the energy grid and just all of our hearts of our whole star family extending together on this new earth energy grid.
I love
that visualization. Yes, beautiful.
Well, did we have anything else in closing?
I don't think so.
All right. So let's just all work on our ceremony. So each day we will absorb and release, surrender, and then upgrade our DNA. And as we move through the 7 days with the 7 elements and connect together as a star community, and just really hold the attention or focus in moving into those higher frequencies as we, really write the manual of how we're expanding our consciousness into the new earth reality. So thank you both for such a wonderful, I really needed this just to really anchor in some of the energies that I was feeling. So thank you.
This was wonderful. And let me just say the colors. Today we're doing violet, and then it goes to indigo, and blue, and green, and yellow, and orange, and red. So those are the 7 colors that we're going to be playing with, the 7 elements.
Perfect. And I'll also write that out with the recording as well.
Oh, okay. That's great. Great idea.
Wonderful.
Well, I think that this has been a really beneficial podcast for me, and it just was perfect for everything that was going on in my life as well. So thank you both for contributing to my madness here. Anyhow.
All right. Lots of love to you guys.
And you
love
too.
you.
Love you all. Bye.
Bye.